Ric Flair announces he has one match left and why it won't be in AEW. Also, WWE is doing a major swap between Raw and SmackDown, so all that and more on this episode. So let's get into it. Starting off with Ric Flair and his final match. And he had a recent interview with the 5-Star Podcast. A lot of things were discussed. One of them being why he does no longer is giving advice to younger wrestling talent. And he had this to say: I don't give it anymore because they'd rather read the internet. They don't listen to me. They ask me something, then they walk over and ask someone who knows nothing about it. I used to respect it when they asked me, but if I give an opinion, I got to rethink if they're going to take it to heart. So yeah, this is kind of one of the things that's vastly said amongst legends in the business that have worked in AEW. We're talking Mark Henry, we're talking Big Show, we're talking Jerry Lynn. In a recent interview, he had pretty much the exact same thing to say, that not a lot of people come up to him and ask him to rate their matches. He's also mentioned that no one really came up to Tully when he was there. No one really came up to Arn when he was there. So this seems like these stars in AEW, they think they know better. They think that their own indie wrestling people, they know it, as opposed to asking past talent who have been there, who have done it, who have been. And Ric Flair is one of the best in the business. How are you not going to ask him to rate your matches or to take his opinion on anything? To me, it's a little bit disrespectful. You have a lot of talent there that needs the assistance. It's just ridiculous that Ric Flair is there and you don't ask him for his opinion, or you ask him and then you don't take it. Obviously, maybe not financial decisions on asking Ric Flair, but for in-ring work, character work, yeah, ask Ric Flair. He's there. But I also don't blame him for not wanting to give out his opinion anymore to people that ask, because if people aren't taking it, it gets frustrating that you're giving out this information and opinions for free, and they're not taking it. It's like, why even give my opinion at that point? So I understand both sides of that. But hopefully in AEW they start to take older veterans opinions going forward. In WWE we seem like that happens quite frequently, but there's a lot more wealth of knowledge. They have a certain team that is there to build everything, matches and everything. So in AEW it kind of seems like everybody has their own. This is what we want to. This is what we want to do. This person's going to win, and then it's up to the talent to create the match. In WWE, that's not the case. They have agents on every single match and every single promo, so everything's very scripted out. And yes, there are certain times where wrestlers just go out and do a match, but there's things that are called. So I understand Ric Flair's frustration, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. But as well, besides that, he was also asked about having a future match in the future. He said he still has one match left in the tank, and he had this to say about it possibly being in AEW. Once Tony found out I was on Blood Thinners, he wouldn't let me get in the ring, and nor should he or pretty much anybody let him in a wrestling ring to have a match. I was there. I saw the Ric Flair Last Man Standing. I wasn't there physically, but I was there and I watched it happen on TV. But Ric Flair's Last Man Standing event, and that was back in 2022. That man pretty much died 3 times in the ring. And of course, that's merely a joke, but there was times he was just laying there. It seemed like he wasn't physically there. He's an older gentleman. He's had troubles with his heart, so I wouldn't blame anybody if they don't want to have him in a wrestling ring. It's pretty dangerous to take spots, to do anything. So he needs to stay away from the ring. And I know he's at that age where he probably wants to do things and feels like he can, but this is not the case. Also, we also found out that WWE is going to be doing a major switch with its announced teams with Raw and SmackDown. So, and this is according to PW Insider. They got some additional information for us. PWInsider.com is told Lillian Garcia is expected to handle ring announcing for Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow. So one would think she would be working that brand going forward. We were told Alicia Taylor will be shifted to Raw to handle ring announcing there going forward, starting with the Netflix premiere. Besides that, we also got information about Pat McAfee and Michael Cole being switched over to Raw. Joe Tessitore is going to be going to SmackDown. So there's some jumbling, some changing going with the commentary teams and the announced teams going forward, which is actually quite a bit of a shock to me because I assumed Joe Tessitore was going to be on Netflix. His voice, his presence, boxing fans recognize Joe Tessitore. But Pat McAfee also football fans, so I could see why they would have him on Netflix. But I'm a little bit shocked. But Pat McAfee is great. I don't know if he's always going to be on Netflix on Raw, or when college football season starts back up again, is he going to be doing that and they have to bring Joe Tessitore or somebody else over? But speaking of WWE SmackDown, of course, today's SmackDown is going to be 3 hours long. Raw, SmackDown, they're now going to 3 hours again. So we're excited. I mean, a couple of things that we're going to see today. Andrade versus Shinsuke for the United States Championship. That's going to be a great match. Andrade isn't probably going to win. It's too early for Shinsuke to lose the title. But either way, you expect them to have a heavy-hitting match. They had some wrestling matches back in CMLL in the past. So it's good to see them going forward. And hopefully they have a great match for the 3 hours of SmackDown as well. Of course, we also see the women's world title on the line, Nia Jax versus Naomi, and that's going to be a heavy-hitting match. I'm still unsure if Tiffany Stratton's gonna cash in, but I would expect her to cash in. And also, don't forget to catch us today after SmackDown, our live stream going over everything you saw today. So right after SmackDown, turn on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, check us out. Trigger Wrestling will be here to discuss and just have a good time. Also, this weekend is Wrestle Dynasty and Wrestle Kingdom. We'll be here to discuss all the events and all the results on Sunday right after. But we are getting closer towards WrestleMania season. When WrestleMania season, they start announcing Hall of Famers, and we have an interview with someone that should be in the Hall of Fame. If you want to watch that video, click right here. Thank you so much.